Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Why they are lying to you. Have you ever heard of Tartaria and the Tartarians? Chances are you haven't, and that's exactly what they want. Tartaria was said to be a vast and advanced civilization spanning large parts of Asia, Europe, and even North America. But today, it's almost completely erased from our history books. Some believe that this mysterious empire was responsible for building some of the world's most impressive megastructures, structures that still baffle modern engineers. Ever wondered who really built the Great Wall of China? According to some theories, it wasn't the Chinese to keep invaders out, but the Tartarians to keep something in. And it doesn't stop there. The stunning architecture we see in places like Russia, Turkey, and parts of Europe, massive domes, intricate designs, could these have been the work of the Tartarians too? Some claim that what we're taught in school is a carefully constructed lie, designed to erase the achievements of this lost civilization. But why would they lie? What could be so dangerous about the truth? Is it possible that Tartaria was a global power, with technology and knowledge far beyond what we're told? If so, the erasure of Tartaria from history would mean that everything we think we know about our past is a lie. So next time you see an ancient structure that seems out of place, or hear a story that doesn't quite fit, ask yourself, could this be a clue to the hidden history of Tartaria? Maybe it's time we start questioning the history we've been taught.
It surely is interesting, the amount of stuff that I remember being taught in school that is absolutely wrong. Like, it's just totally wrong. And my children even are given diluted forms of information or one-sided. And it's just gross. As far as one-sided, okay, that the Great Wall of China is actually reinforced on the China side. Now, typically, if they were trying to protect China, the reinforcement would be on the outside, right? Which is why they think that the Tartarians actually built it to keep the people that lived in China out.
So, have you heard of the makeup theory? Makeup allegedly ruins the skin, making women use more and more until it becomes an endless cycle. Haven't you noticed that women that wear makeup pretty much tend to wear it all their lives? The idea is that the cosmetics are designed to worsen your skin over time, keeping you dependent on them. Think about it. You start with a few skin problems, and before you know it, you're piling on all sorts of concealers just to cover them up. Over time, your skin gets clogged and irritated, leading to more issues. It's a very vicious cycle.
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they do it with our foods. They put in chemicals and stuff that make you want to eat more when you're not actually hungry. So why wouldn't they put something in the makeup to make your face a little blemishy? Because you know what else they do? They launch their own skincare lines. And it's not just like one step, wash your face. No, it's like 3 or 4 steps that you have to do twice a day. And it ain't cheap. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. I am so sorry that I deleted yesterday's episode, but thank you so much for allowing me to have a day off. It was nice. I needed it. Went and saw the rodeo with the fam. It was a great day. If you're having a good time, please hit that like button for me and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Then come back tomorrow, because I am making a new episode every day, except for yesterday. But I did make the episode. Y'all just didn't get to see it.
The actual pathogens that are inside of your body. So this is the stuff nightmares are really made out of. So a lot of people, they have these crazy ass dreams and they're wondering, well, where is this coming from? It's coming from the mindset of the bacteria that are inside your body that are also linked with their other friends, the other ones that are on their resonance frequency. They sit in the sewers. They sit in other entities that are filthy. They sit in the trash can. And now you're tied into that. And then when you just let go of the wheel for a moment, sleeping or slipping, when you just let go of the wheel for a moment, all of a sudden they take the wheel. And then you be even in the reality thinking. They talk about in medicine how these things will have you thinking, go and get this sandwich. Go and link up with her. They'll even be able to smell the virus on another person and then send an attraction signal. It won't even be something you're interested in. They'll be like, go and hook up with her, because they know they're in the self-preservation. And this is what I mean by, instead of talking about aliens as far as them being external, these are the aliens, the ones internal. These are the real aliens, because internal the customs.
Aliens. Wow.
Someone had made this super profound comment that maybe viruses are aliens. And I don't know who it was. I was looking for the comment and I couldn't frickin' find it. So whoever you are, raise your hand, because that was fantastic. It absolutely made my brain just go crazy, because you see all of these movies where, you know, these aliens come down and then they start taking out people, right? But what if they just release a virus? Because that's pretty easy to take everybody out, right?
Y'all, I am freaking out right now. There's a lot of unexplained things going on in the ocean right now. Hold on real quick. I do not trust them. Just watch this real quick for me.
You get to Mars by going through the ocean. You can't get to the bottom of the ocean because outer space is the ocean.
Now, what she just said just blew my mind. Now, there's this situation called the firmament. So we know that water is all around us. And it is said that this dome divided the sea into upper and lower sections. You can't cancel this out because they still haven't discovered 80% of the sea. Early civilizations believed that the ocean and the stars above were linked. I mean, just look. Mayan, Norse, Hindu, Hebrew, all of them. Now, we already know what spacesuits look like, but they look exactly like sea suits. I know once in your life you've heard of the Bermuda Triangle. Planes and people going missing in the ocean. There are black holes in the ocean. And I just know once in your life you've heard about sea monsters. When you see a comet, it looks like a boat soaring through water. What if these unexplained species in the ocean are actually aliens? If y'all have ever watched this movie Underwater, they went too deep and found the creature that don't even look like it's supposed to be from this earth. Or could it have just been a creature from space? Now, you can say what you want, but I bet you we are not the only beings, only species, only creatures that are in this universe. It's just ironic that when they return to Earth, they're on water. I mean, I know I'm not tripping. And I know y'all heard of mermaids. So many unexplained things in the ocean. They're making more discoveries in space. Not really putting too much money or caring about what's going on the planet. Why? Because this sea stuff might have a lot of connections to space. And they not telling us. Y'all be safe, and I know I'm not the only person who feel this way.
There was a lot of partial connections in there as far as the suits, the space suit and the water suit. Yeah, those are both NASA suits because astronauts train underwater. So yeah, they would look the same. There were some movie references used as facts, but they're movies. Although there have been instances of hiding the truth in plain sight. I know where she's going. There was a little bit of contradiction in there, which I am no stranger to, but I'm not sold on it. All right, it's time for this week's shameless plug. A while back, a few of my subscribers suggested that I check out Explore the Weird with Tedi Ganja. And I finally made my way over there, and wouldn't you believe it, I absolutely love his content. I have been binging it all week long. So if you would like to go over there and give him a little bit of your time, I'm sure he'd greatly appreciate it, and you might enjoy it. It's kind of like mine, kind of not, little same, little different, but it's great, and you're going to love it. Well, once again, that is Explore the Weird. Go check it out. Thank you so much for sticking around for this week's shameless plug.
Rays are not aliens. They're mutated humans from a parallel version of Earth that destroyed their version of Earth to the point where they had to go underground. They mutated. Their eyes got bigger to see in the dark and all this kind of stuff, but they had to mutate to survive. They tried cloning themselves to save their civilization, and that didn't work. Over generations, things started failing. They knew that they were basically in the process of dying out. So what they knew they needed to basically perpetuate their civilization was viable human DNA, which didn't exist anymore in their reality. But they used their advanced technology to tunnel into parallel realities, to shift into parallel worlds like ours, parallel versions of Earth that exist simultaneously with theirs, where viable human DNA was still existing. And to use that DNA through the abduction experiences to create hybrid beings from their DNA and our DNA so that their civilization would continue, would survive. So the hybrid civilizations, like Bashar's people, are actually the result of those abduction experiences and the perpetuation of their culture. But sort of as a payback for the use of that DNA, the hybrids, now like Bashar, are sharing information with us in our reality so that we might not necessarily have to go down the same destructive path.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I frickin' love it. There's another theory that kind of goes along the same lines, except they're not from a parallel universe. They're from our planet as it is. They were just an advanced civilization from the past, and the Earth did its little reset thing. And these individuals were the ones that survived underground. And then the story is basically along those same lines. But it's fantastic. I love it.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but back in 2012, Discovery Channel and Animal Planet aired this TV show about mermaids. It was called Mermaids, The Body Found. I think about a year later, they released the sequel. It was Mermaids, The Body Found, New Evidence. This is a prime example of how easy it is for false information to spread around. especially coming from a source that we'd like to believe is credible, such as the Animal Planet or Discovery Channel. You don't expect them to show things that are not real. They led a lot of people to believe that mermaids were real. They showed clips of scientists evaluating noises coming from the ocean. They examined different sonar readings and said that these were in fact mermaids. They recreated images and gave us descriptions of what these mermaids looked like, along with video clips showing us what a mermaid's life would look like under the sea with their family. They also went to the extreme of showing us these weapons that they found and that fishermen had found. I watched this a really long time ago, but I think I remember them saying that these weapons were made out of like deep sea fish, maybe some sort of like deep ocean rock, I don't know, but basically something that could only be found deep in the ocean, and this was carved by mermaids. They were even showing clips that were supposedly given to them by fishermen where they had found these mermaid-made spears and tools in fish. People were watching this documentary in shock because throughout the entire beginning of the documentary, there was no disclosure. These pictures should have been the dead giveaway that this was fake. But people believed it because it was the Animal Planet and it was the Discovery Channel. At the very end of this mockumentary, for 3 seconds after the credits, this appeared, and this was them giving disclosure that this was fake. 3 seconds at the very end of the credits. I've heard of a mockumentary before, but they're calling this one a docu-fiction. This was another one of the images they used to show us what these mermaids looked like when they came out of the water. I know there's a good handful of people that knew that this was fake. They knew it couldn't be real. They were not gullible, but there was a lot of people that believed this was real.
I remember watching that mockumentary, and I also remember thinking that it was pretty fake. What is crazy is that they had people attesting that this is what was happening, and they make you feel like, okay, well, it says doctor, so they must be a doctor or a professor or something like that. This is a smart person. But that's done with a lot of things. And it's just people who have an agenda and people who will back their agenda for the right amount of money and get their narrative out. And people believe it. And it's really difficult sometimes to find out what's real and what's not, because a lot of people were believing that there were mermaids.
The Lyrans versus the Draco-Reptilian. This cosmic war took place 387 million years ago. Reptilians ambushed the Lyrans' planet called Planet Avion. They had an extreme blood loss and was more technologically advanced. Prior to this event, the Lyrans were peaceful and never dealt with war. The Lyrans fought valiantly, but the Reptilians were too powerful. These beings were very carnivorous. Reptilians were actually consuming the Lyrans as a food source. Reptilians not only consume your flesh, but also your loosh. They begin to feed off the Lyrans' fear of them. Eventually, Tiamat was made aware of what took place with the Lyrans. Then Tiamat freed the Lyrans from the Draconians' bondage. The Lyrans left planet Avion. The Lyrans learned from that situation since and became more technologically advanced.
That was a good story. But the AI, it was pretty bad.
Reptilians really came into control and started to be able to manipulate what was going on the face of the planet about 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. It is true that they have different masking technologies to be able to be in a room and look like a human, but usually they're in underground bases in various places on the globe, as well as in a huge area in Antarctica. The southeast region has a large number of underground caverns that are kept extremely warm, too warm for humans, by geothermal heat. It's a perfect place for all of these colonies that the reptilians have. They're basically cities, huge cities with millions of them.
Case in point, just like I said, after the mermaid one, a brilliant person, somebody who is accredited, comes out and says something that sounds really real and you're going to believe it. I totally believe it. I'm on board. I'm there. Yeah, there's reptilians here. Why not?
Young people don't truly understand on a gut level that one day they'll get old. And in a way, they're like flat earthers. They have all the evidence right in front of them, but they just don't buy it. It's a conspiracy theory. They know they were kids once, and now they're grown-ups, and they've seen photos of their parents looking all fresh and full of life, but somehow they can't make that leap into understanding they're going to get old too. Old people to them were just born old. You can see it in the raging generational warfare. In their heads, aging is like some weird conspiracy theory. They're like, nah man, that's not going to happen to me. That's just something they say to scare you. Young people are like flat earthers because they think they've arrived at the end of history. Going to protest like they think they're going to permanently change the world for once and for all. It's like imagining your favourite sports team winning the grand final for once and for all, and then the league owners just terminate the league, just arbitrarily. Some kind of timeless utopia. They're going to fix everything and it'll stay fixed forever. But then the kids will grow up and will hold all the opinions. It'll be a laughing stock of a new batch of 20 to 30-year-olds. This endless cycle of thinking you're the exception to the rule and thinking you've figured it all out while the previous generations were just idiots. But in reality, they'll be in the exact same position in a few decades. They'll soon be the weird aunt or uncle with a strange worldview to be avoided at Christmas in 30 years from now, or whatever the new name is for it then. And the cycle of life will continue just as the world is round. But in a way, they'll be right with the flat earth mentality, eventually pushed off the edge, never to be seen again.
Oh, that is completely accurate. Like, I totally feel that way. I remember when I was younger and I was like, I'm going to rule the world. I know everything, you old people. And now I'm still in the older generation going, what are you guys doing? You know, looking back at these kids too, I'm like, you guys have no clue. They have no clue. They don't know what's going on. While in my brain, I still feel like I'm like 18, even though I'm well over twice that age. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, it looks like Sweetie Puss gets stuck for dinner after all, don't it?
Yeah, older cartoons were pretty risque. Now they're like politically correct and super boring. You can't offend anybody and they have to teach some kind of lesson, which is dumb. It's unnecessary. I just want to be entertained in the funniest way possible. And that's what they used to be. It's so much fun to sit down and watch old cartoons. On that note, I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.